waiting, Amy. You're now in an interview with Frank Iero. Please go ahead.
Thank you very
Hi,
much.
Amy. How you doing?
Hi, Frank. I'm very well. How are you today?
I'm doing good.
Good.
Thanks for taking the time to speak.
Oh, anytime. It's a pleasure. Where in the world are you calling from today?
I'm actually at home in New Jersey. I started rehearsals for the upcoming headline tour here, and we start in like 9 days.
Oh, exciting.
Crazy.
That's awesome.
I know. I'm very excited. Yeah.
So Barriers is going to be released in just over a week. How are you feeling about releasing that into the wild?
It's a fantastic feeling. It's crazy because we just started rehearsals today, right, for the headliner, and I remember right now is when I flew Matt Armstrong out to New Jersey, and he Tucker Rule and Evan and I started our first writing session for this album. So it's almost like wow, we're finally doing this like on the year anniversary of starting to write this.
Oh,
you know?
That's crazy.
It feels, yeah, I know. It feels like it feels real fitting. Like it's funny. Everything about this album and this project just stars aligned, kind of. It's really kind of crazy.
Yeah.
How everything's kind of working out in that way, and I feel very fortunate to be a part of it.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, I've been very, very lucky to have the opportunity to give it a listen, and it is a great record.
Oh, nice.
So congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. That's nice of you to say. I'm glad you enjoy it.
Sonically, I feel like there's a lot to sink your teeth into. I can hear lots of different genres. Like, I've heard brutal hardcore, straight up punk rock, even gospel in there. So,
yeah.
At some points, your singing style even reminded me of Robert Smith. Is it true that you were in a cover band for The Cure?
That I'm a fan of The Cure? Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, no. Is it true you were in a cover band?
Oh, that I was in a cover band. Yes, I was, yeah. It's funny. Myself, Pete Steinkampf from the Baltic Souls. Let's see, we had DJ from Let It Burn was in it. Matt from Seaside Caves, and it was a really fun project. You know, we did a couple of shows on the East Coast together. It was called Love Cats, named after a Cure song.
Nice.
And it was super fun, man. It was like, one of those things where I think, I'm trying to think of the years when it happened. Like maybe like 2008, maybe 2009. We did that. Yeah, it was really fun.
A while ago.
It was like I think the Souls were off for a little while, and My Chem was maybe off for a couple of months at that time. So I got a call, and they were like, "Hey, you want to do this Cure cover?" I was like, "Hell yeah! I get to hang out and play Cure songs." Like, definitely. It was super fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I can hear the influence in your vocal style. It's very interesting.
Oh, thank you. Well, that's probably the most flattering compliment I could ever receive, because Robert is one of the greatest vocalists of all time. I think one of the most beautiful instruments I've ever heard is Robert Smith's vocals.
I agree.
I remember we played Riot Fest a couple years ago, and The Cure headlined, and we showed up like super early, maybe it's like 9, 10 in the morning, and we had taken a really long drive the night before, and we get out of the van, and all of a sudden, like, floating over the clouds is this like unbelievable sound, and it's Robert Smith singing Pictures of You a cappella as like a sound check.
Oh my god.
Over the PA, and it was unreal. I could not believe my ears. So thank you. That's one of the greatest things anyone's ever done. So thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Alright, so I digressed a bit there, but lyrically, Barriers is very open and vulnerable, and this is something that you have done on past releases. What was your creative vision for this album?
Well, I think that it started to take shape as we wrote, and for me, this was the first record that I had written since the accident in 2 years ago, and I knew that it was something that I needed to address because it was such a a life-changing event, and so I was having a really hard time though because the things that I was writing just they didn't feel like they encompassed every emotion that I had about it, and it was like this huge, giant elephant in the room, and the things that I felt like were coming out of me just didn't do it justice, and they ended up, getting calls from some amazing musicians, Tucker Rule and Matt Armstrong, Kayla Goldsworthy, and Evan Esser, and everybody said, like, hey, we're free, we want to do this record, and I've known these, some of these people for 20 years, and I've wanted to start a band with them for so long that the fact that these stars were aligning just really kind of blew my mind, and I knew that I didn't want to pass up on this opportunity because I couldn't get, over this hurdle, of writing about this experience, and so I just kind of tackled it head on and started to chip away at it, and didn't shy away from the things that really scared me, and I think that in accomplishing that, that gave me a lot of confidence, and all of a sudden, all of these, other things that maybe I'd shied away from in my writing throughout the years didn't seem so scary. And so that became the battle cry, I think, for the record was attack the things that scare you, if you find something that you're uncomfortable with, go for it. Like that's the path. You know what I mean? Like get yourself out of your comfort zone at all times. And so and that became the theme of the record was break down every wall.
That's such an awesome message. So I'm glad you did go ahead with this project. That's amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So am I. Because I really feel like this record is a record that, out of everything that I've had a hand in, is maybe the most proud I've ever been. It's kind of insane. And I do feel very fortunate to have been able to say that almost every time I make a new record. Like, I know, that's hard to do. And I feel very blessed and very fortunate to be able to do that.
Awesome. Thanks for that. So, Frank, you've spoken in the past about how each Frank Iero project is like a blank slate, that it's different and new each time, and that's why you name the band differently on each occasion. So far we've had Celebration, The Patience, and now The Future Violence. Why The Future Violence? What's the story behind this name?
Well, it's kind of a strange story. It's a bit serendipitous. So I was traveling, and we were on a flight, and a steward came over and said, are you guys a band? You look like you guys are in a band or something like that. And I said, yeah, we're Frank Iero and The Patience. And he was like, oh, The Future Violence, that's a crazy name. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's pretty amazing. I got to write that down. And so I had it in my notebook for, a good year and a half, 2 years. And I didn't really know what it was. I didn't know if it was just like, something that sounded cool. Maybe it was a song title or something like that. But I held on to it, and I feel like a lot of times the universe kind of shows you, a path or gives you little gifts along the way, and sometimes you just kind of have to be in tune or just be a witness, and take those cues. But I started to think about when I started to write, this record and stuff like that. I started to think about those words because it's funny. Like the flight that happened on was the flight that took us to Sydney, and I started to think about those words and what they meant, and I started to think about how living life is a lot like kind of. Bear with me, by the way. It's a lot like staring at like a pristine lake. You know what I mean? you could be very content to you know, passively participate, kind of sit back and live vicariously through, you know, other people or other things. You know, watch the fish swim underneath, or watch the the wind kind of take the current, and just observe. You know, that could be fine for some. And then the other way would be to, you know, kind of pick up a rock or a pebble on the shore and toss it in, and to disrupt things, you know, to leave your mark, to watch that ripple kind of carry on and on and on. And I started to think about that action and how it is a very violent action, you know, but not necessarily in a negative connotation. You know, it's a violent, abrupt, brutal act. And then I started to think about what happened in Sydney and how that was very much a violent, brutal, abrupt act, and how this thing that happened to me may have just kind of happened for me instead of happening to me.
Yeah.
You know, and I thought about, you know, like how the band, I wanted the band to be activists, the ones that go out and kind of actively participate in life and leave a mark. And hopefully that ripple carries on, and the people that are listening are also the future activists, the future violence, the ones that go out and smash that pristine lake, you know, and make their mark, you know.
That's awesome. That's so cool, man.
Thank you.
The other question I have, were you purposely trying to stir shit when you put that My Chemical Romance Easter egg in Young and Doomed?
Stir shit. I don't know if I was purposely trying to stir shit. It was more like I liked the idea of breaking down this like fourth wall. Like to me, it was very much like when you're reading a comic and you find out that two superheroes are kind of in the same universe, even though they don't, you know, necessarily interact. You know, and I liked the fact that it called back to, you know, previous works, and I feel like those, like a song like Young and Doomed is very tied to a song like Not Okay, and it's also really tied to a song like I'm a Mess. So that line just kind of, it fits so perfectly, and I knew it was gonna, I knew it was gonna it was gonna, you know, cause some disruption for others. But what I was hoping was, you know, that attention just was brought to what I was actually trying to say within the song, you know.
Awesome.
So yes and no.
Oh, that's cool.
Amy, my apologies, it's your 2-minute reminder.
Okay, thank you. In a previous interview, Frank, you mentioned that you had synesthesia. I'm just wondering, how does that affect how you write music?
Say that one more time. What procedure?
You mentioned that you have synesthesia, so that's, you see colors when you hear sounds.
Yes. Sorry, yes. It's weird. I don't know. I just know that, like, this record for some reason is very, and I know what that feels like when I play these songs. I know that Parachutes was very blue, and Stomach Aches was pink. It's very hard to explain. You know, because I don't really know why I feel that way or why I see it that way. I just know what it feels like when I write it, and I know that the song, like these songs, were in that vein. You know, it helps me though, because when I listened to this record, I knew where like the artwork needed to be, and where the color scheme for the record needed to be.
Right.
So that's why when you see, like, you know, like the packaging for, say, like, you know, like Parachutes or for Stomach Aches, like those follow suit with the color scheme that I'm seeing when I hear the record.
That's really interesting. All right.
Yeah, it is, because I really don't know why. It just is for me. Yeah.
Alright, let's see if I can squeeze 2 more questions in. I was going to ask, you've just got back from a tour with Taking Back Sunday. Do you have an exclusive contract with them? Because I believe you've toured with them every single...
I know, and isn't that crazy? Again, that's just the universe. I honestly, like, you would think that I actively, like, seek these things out, but really, like, I do very little. I just do it. I really, I'm just kind of an observer and a conduit for what happens around me, and I think I'm just really good at taking cues and riding the wave. It's weird. You would think I would be more of a hippie, but I'm not. It's just shit happens, and I pay attention.
That's awesome. All right, final question. Can Australia expect to see you anytime soon?
I really do hope so. I would love to be out there again by the end of the year. I hope so. I'm very hopeful.
We hope so too. All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat today. I really appreciate it.
No, Amy, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
No worries. Good luck on the tour.
All right. Thank you.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Amy.
Thank you.